What is the effect of saying the 12 Pesukim? For starters, something very interesting. When the Rebbe instituted the 12 Pesukim, that was in the spring of Tovshin Lamed Vov in 1976, and less than 3 months later was the famous or infamous story with the hijacking of an airliner to Entebbe, Uganda. And the entire Jewish people were shaken up, and everybody was praying and davening for the safety of the hostages, which were basically all Jews. And there were gatherings for praying. So in Yerushalayim, in Mea Sheorim, they organized a tefillah get-together of all the Jews from all stripes, all colors, to daven for the safety of these hostages. Now, this was led by the Eda HaCharedis. The Bezdin, under the leadership of Arav Yitzchok Weiss, who was the leader of the Eda HaCharedis, but he was also a very good friend with Lubavitch. That year, the Rebbe sent a group of shluchim to Yerushalayim. And they befriended this Dayan Weiss. And they would come to him and they would talk Torah with him, and he really enjoyed their company. And through them, messages went to the Rebbe and back. When they were preparing for this day of prayer, the shluchim suggested to Dayan Weiss that the children should say the 12 Pesukim. And they said it's for sure a Segula to help the hostages. The Dayan asked them, really? Like, did the Rebbe say it? And one of them had the guts to say, well, sort of. And he asked, is it necessarily these 12 Pesukim, or it could be any Pesukim? And they fell back on the fact that before the Yom Kippur War, the Rebbe used the posuk mipi oilelim v'yonkim yisada ta'oiz lahashbis oiv v'misnakim, that from the mouth of babes you give strength to the Jewish people to eliminate the enemies. So they're impressing upon this Dayan Weiss that to say the Pesukim is going to accomplish this. He thought about it, and he decided he'll go for it. And by that gathering, children came up and they said the 12 Pesukim. After the rally, Dayan Weiss asked the Bochrim and said, please do me a favor. In my name, I want you to ask the Rebbe specifically if these 12 Pesukim are a Segula. Is it a Segula to help the Jewish people? So the Bochrim wrote to the Rebbe the question in the name of this Dayan Weiss. A few days later was the Farbrengen of Yud Tammuz, which was already after the freedom, the liberation, what they call the raid at Entebbe, and the hostages were freed successfully. And the Rebbe spoke about the great miracle that happened then. But one of the things the Rebbe spoke by the Farbrengen was about the 12 Pesukim, that they are a Segula. So the Rebbe didn't directly respond to the Bochrim, but it became very clear after the question that in public the Rebbe said it is a Segula. So that was the first effect we had from the 12 Pesukim that became very clear after the fact. But then there's another thing, and this is a very important piece of history which shows us how the Rebbe is looking after us. That Lag B'Omer, when the Rebbe spoke about the second 6 Pesukim, the Rebbe asked to be Magia to review this Sicha for publication. And it was very clear that Rebbe started a new campaign to learn the 12 Pesukim, so he's going to review this Sicha for print. For some mysterious reason, it was not published. That Sicha disappeared. It was only a review, of course, of the second 6 Pesukim, not the first. The first remained separate. But the second ones were reviewed by the Rebbe, never to be published. 38 years later, Tovshin Ayin Dalet, it was 20 years to Gimmel Tammuz, and there was some confusion. Many people were confused. We missed the Rebbe's leadership. We missed the Rebbe's guidance. It was a mix-up, a lot of mix-up. And many people were not happy with this mix-up. And it was a back and forth. People said, it's good, you have to. And some people said, no, it's terrible. It's not good. In any case, it touched a button in all of Anash. And Chassidim and Crown Heights got together. It was a big, huge meeting to discuss this matter. Are we lost or not? Do we have to look for therapy, for other places, whatever? Some very stupid ideas and some confusing ideas. At that meeting, some of the big Chassidim spoke very strongly how the Rebbe is with us and he's guiding us and he gave us everything we need to know how to respond to our problems. And people walked out, okay, they were happy, they got some support. But most amazing, about 2.5 weeks later, that Sicha was suddenly discovered. It was such excitement, we found a new Sicha that the Rebbe reviewed, was never published. This is like the Rebbe sending us a message. In Tanakh, we have the story, Vayovei Michtav me'Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hanovi sent a letter long after he was gone. So here, the Rebbe sent us a message for the first time in 20 years that we didn't get a new message from the Rebbe. Very exciting. When we started learning the Sicha, what did we see in that Sicha? The Rebbe, posuk by posuk, was addressing all of these types of arguments that people were talking about self-worth, self-love, about what's my mission, what's my purpose, and the Rebbe explains it so simply for little children. But he also says in that Sicha, in the Mugedike Sicha, also adults. So he's addressing children and adults. And it was very clear that Rebbe hid it for 38 years. It should be discovered exactly in time for when we needed it. And when you learn the Sicha really well, you will realize how you can live a beautiful, perfect life if you follow the advice of the Rebbe in that Sicha. That is the effect of the 12 Pesukim. Basics of Yiddishkeit and guidance. You can call it therapy, new age therapy. It can help everyone in all their problems, and I believe that we can cover 95% of our issues would fall by the wayside if we stick to the 12 Pesukim.